What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rad Chad Show. Today we have got a review for you of Unlock Escape Adventures, the Island of Dr. Goorse. It's not actually the Island of Dr. Goose like I had originally thought, but I actually think I like that name better, the Island of Dr. Goose. Anyways, hey, this is the third Unlock game that you can play. Without getting too far into the review, want to let you guys know this is by far the most difficult of the three. So if you haven't checked out either of my other reviews, they also have the formula and Squeak and Sausage. I would probably recommend a new gamer for Unlock to start with one of those two. But hey, if you've already seen those reviews, or if you're ready to dive into the Island of Dr. Goorse and are just curious about how good it actually is, this is a great place to start. Basically what we'll do is this review in two segments, the first of which is I will use the 10-card interactive tutorial deck that the game has to offer. It essentially teaches you all the rules so that you don't have to read the rule book. I'll show you guys how to play that. That way you'll get an understanding of how to play the game in general. And then we'll dive into the actual meat of the review and my thoughts. But hey, if you don't even want the interactive 10-card tutorial to be spoiled for you, you want to have that experience with your gaming group, just click the timestamp down in the comments below and you can get straight into the thick of it. So without further ado, here is Unlock. Okay, so let's take a look at how you actually play Unlock and the tutorial mission. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to have a starting card, and in the interest of time, I've already set some things up, but you're going to want to read the front of the starting card, and it will instruct you to open the app, press play, and as soon as you flip over this card, there will not be any of these other cards out there. You're going to hit start. In this case, we have 10 minutes to escape this room. For most of the games, you have a full hour to complete the entire mission. When you go into a new room, there will be items within that room. For example, we have a desk, we have a circuit board, we have the exit room, and all of these are denoted by a specific number. So when you first open up a room, you're going to go through the deck of cards, and you're going to find the numbers that are depicted within that room, and you're going to place them out face up. Then after you've done that, you can start interacting with the cards and figuring out puzzles. In a lot of cases, what you're going to do is you're going to take a red puzzle piece and you're going to mix it with a blue puzzle piece. They go together, and that's how you solve a lot of puzzles. So here I might take the blue key and I might use it to unlock this red dresser. When you do that, you're going to add up the value of the two cards. So here we've got 11 plus 35 equals 46. If you're correct, you can search through the deck and you can find the number 46 and reveal it. When you do that, it will oftentimes tell you to get rid of the two cards that you had used to get this card because they've already been used and they're no longer needed. So here we can see that we have opened up the cabinet, and if we dig and look closely in at the cabinet, we can see a hidden number 16. Just like the office, that's a regular number that we can go ahead and reveal. So here we're going to take 16 out of the deck of cards, we're going to reveal it, and we have found a red cable or cord with some hooks on it. So I think we're good with this for now. We might want to figure out how we want to use this cable. Well, as I mentioned earlier, red and blue go together, but I don't necessarily think this cable is going to do anything to a TV that doesn't currently have power to it. So maybe we want to come over here to this machine. It's sort of like an electrical circuit board. And it looks like we can connect the different little circles on this circuit board to hopefully bring power back to us. So I'm going to come over here to the machine on the app, and I'm going to denote that I'm using machine number 67 and enter that into the app and press OK. It's now going to tell me, all right, how do you want to connect this cord inside this machine? So what I'm going to say is I want to connect it straight down the middle, and the reason for that is I've got a dresser over here that's got 9 dots, just like the 9 dots on this circuit, and there's a line down the middle 3. So I'm going to replicate that line over here in the app using, again, this cord, and I'm going to click OK. And what that shows is that we've successfully used the machine, and it has more or less turned this machine into a 9 red puzzle piece. If we take that 9 red puzzle piece, and like always, we mix it with a blue puzzle piece, we take 9 and 16, and that makes 25. So we go searching through the deck, we see if we have card number 25, which we do, and we can now put that card out, and we're now done with these 3 cards. So what this simply says is that we have restored power to our area, and it's given us a blue 6 puzzle piece, and since we now have power, maybe we want to go test that power with the TV. So we take the blue 6 and the red 42, and that gives us 48, which is the last card in the deck. And so now we can see that the TV is turned on, and it has given us a code of 7239, which we can use to escape. So we come back over here to the app, we click the code option, and I'm going to type in 7239 and click OK. And unfortunately, we lost time, so that obviously wasn't the right code. We haven't escaped. So now we got to figure out what we did wrong. 7239 has got 4 different colors on it, and if I look closely, this exit sign on the door has got the same colors. E, the first letter, is red, X, the second letter, is yellow, I, the third letter, is blue, and T, the fourth letter, is green. And those correspond exactly to the colors that are on these numbers. So maybe I need to rearrange these numbers so that they add up and match the letters on the door. So I come over here, and E, red, is first, so I might put in the red 9. Then I would X, yellow, so I put in the 3. Then the I is blue, so I put in the 7. And the green T is 2. So now I've got 9372, and let's hope that that's the final code. We click OK. It shows that we were correct, so we have won. And it then sends us to a final screen, which showed us that it took us 4.5 minutes to complete the objective. We didn't need any hints or tips. We didn't have any penalties other than the one. We didn't mess up any machines or anything like that. So ultimately, we get a score of 5 stars, and that's how you play Unlock. Okay, Unlock, the Island of Dr. Goorse, has got the best and the worst of what Unlock has to offer. Unlock, in general, is a very good concept. It has got mechanics to the game that I think are superb. Number 1, it has got a very simple rule set. Number 2, I think it has got great app integration. And just in general, we love the 60 card simplicity of throwing down this game for a very cheap price. You can, put it back together, gift it to a friend afterwards. It's not disposable. It's a really good concept. And so hats off on that sense. Now, the reason why I say that this game in specific is the best and the worst of what Unlock has to offer is because everything within these 3 games relies on the quality of the puzzles. In the formula, we felt very satisfied, like it had the perfect amount of challenge for those puzzles, and we walked away really enjoying our game. In Squeak and Sausage, we turned off the beginner tips that the game will give you, which was maybe a mistake, and we found that those puzzles were a little too abstract, they were often a little too difficult, or possibly they were just too simple, and so there was no sweet spot for Squeak and Sausage, and we walked away very unsatisfied. In Unlock Island of Dr. Goorse, you've got both a little bit of the formula in it, as well as Squeak and Sausage. Now, by that I mean, there are a lot of really cleverly designed puzzles in this specific mission. There are also a lot of puzzles where you have to make substantial leaps of logic to figure out. They're very abstract in nature. And we got hung up so bad in this game on one such puzzle that for our first playthrough, we got maybe, a fourth to a third of the way through the game, and we just ran a headfirst into a roadblock that we couldn't get through. So we stopped the game, and we actually had to reset the deck, and we restarted the game. Now, the theme is phenomenal in this game. Basically, you crash land on an island, your party is separated, and you have to figure out how to get yourselves back together and then escape from the island. It's a really clever concept to a mission, and the theme is further brought to light by the fact that a lot of the puzzles make contextual sense. There are some unique concepts that are brought into the mix that allow you to interact with each other from afar that I thought, again, made sense for the theme. I thought that was very cleverly designed. The artwork within this game is unbelievable. It is every bit as good as something like Time Stories, which also comes from Space Cowboys and Asmodee. So huge hats off there. I had some small complaints with the formula about its theme not really being strong. Squeak and Sausage was better. This is head and shoulders above even both of those combined. So hats off there. That being said, like I said, we ran into a roadblock and we had to restart the game. So what we decided to do is we flipped the script. So one group was on one side of the island, the other group was on the other side, and then we flipped sides so that basically we had a better understanding of what the other side was working with. And that's obviously cheating in a sense, but it gave us a lot more satisfaction because then it started clicking. Oh, this is what we were supposed to do. Oh, that's how that actually works, right? And so in that sense, our second playthrough was obviously tons and tons better than our first playthrough was. Despite us redoing a decent chunk of the game, especially towards the middle and latter half of the game, again, you have to make some serious leaps of logic to figure out some of the puzzles that the game has to offer. And the app is integrated very well. So if you get hung up in specific, sorry about that. If you get hung up in specific on a section, you can ask the app for a hint. And sometimes it'll give you hint number one, then it'll give you a second hint. And then if you're really, really struggling, you can just get the solution automatically from the app, which we had to use on a couple occasions. Now, that would be all fine and dandy, but I think that if you're asking the game for a solution after you've already received 1, 2, maybe even 3 hints, that's probably too difficult of a puzzle. And then more importantly is when you actually finally get the solution, it just tells you to get a card from the deck, which will progress the story, but doesn't actually tell you how you were supposed to have figured out the puzzle. And in a couple occasions, we realized we didn't have a specific card already revealed that would have made us solve that puzzle, and this is really what got us hung up in the first place. We didn't already have a card. We asked for the solution on a specific card, and then it said, oh, well, the card that we drew to get the story unfolded, it says, well, get rid of these few cards, and we didn't have some of those cards. So clearly we had missed something big, and again, we didn't figure out how to backtrack our steps because the game didn't tell you how you were supposed to solve the puzzle to begin with. So I think if Asmodee and Space Cowboys are doing themselves a service, I hope that they're getting data back from that app to see where people are getting hung up and requiring hints on specific cards, where they're maybe getting codes incorrectly, what machines are difficult for people, or maybe sometimes where it's too easy. And hopefully they're using all of that information to improve on the formula, pun intended, of Unlock. Because it's, again, going back to what I originally said, it's got a great, unique concept and mechanic that act as the foundation for this game. So I've talked quite a bit about the negatives of the game, but there's also a handful of more positives. I talked about how this is the best and the worst of what Unlock has to offer. It's got the best theme, and more importantly is it's got several puzzles that tie in with the theme and then also act as like sort of a narrative thread that you can follow, where one puzzle leads to another, which leads to another, which leads to another. It was a much more coherent path and structure to this specific game than some of their other entries in Unlock. And so really hats off on that as well. I enjoyed that very much. And we also felt some of the puzzles were some of the best that they had to offer. Obviously, at the beginning, we got hung up, and then finally we got to see, oh, well, this is what you should do. But even, again, towards the middle and end, it just really kind of scattered where some of those puzzles were hits and some of those were misses. But it had some of the best that the game has to offer amongst all three. And so it's just, everybody kind of felt like we're really teetering on the edge of, okay, do we want to continue to play Unlock? Or do we just want to let this game die by the wayside? But I mean, here's the thing. The game's only $12, $15 if you buy it online or even in retail. So there's a very low price to enter into this game. Not only that, but you can reshuffle the deck, you can sell it off, you can trade it, you can gift it to a friend. So in that sense, there's really not a whole lot of skin off your back other than the fact that, are you actually enjoying what you're doing, which is sitting at a table for an hour, either feeling really satisfied or very unsatisfied, depending on how challenging or not challenging you actually find the puzzles. So I guess just at the end of the day, the Island of Dr. Goorse was the best and the worst of what Unlock has to offer. If we had to rate it based off of our first playthrough, sadly it would be like a 2 or 3. It was really the most challenging and very frustratingly so mission that we've had so far. And the app, even though we asked for hints, didn't really give us what we needed. And then, so when we played through the second time, everybody's opinions were much, much higher. And I think that we averaged, maybe a 6 out of 10, which for us at least a 5 is an average game. It's mediocre. I neither like it nor hate it. And so a 6 is at least above average. There was some enjoyment to be had there, and I think it would be a lot higher if there were more hits than there were misses. But the fact that they were fairly even, I think what really makes this go a bit above perfectly even, which would be a 5, is the fact that that theme is so strong. So really, I think for me personally, I'm excited for the next 3 Unlock games, and I'm just fully on board with this idea of escape room games now. I can't wait to play the escape room board game. I can't wait to play Exit. I can't wait to play Deckscape. All of them, I just want to consume all of them and really Unlock being my first into the series. I mean, it's obviously saying something about these types of games if these three, despite having, you know, some criticisms about them, they have gotten me so head over heels over this sort of genre of game that I want to just consume all of them. So anyways, that's Unlock, the Island of Dr. Goorse. And again, if you haven't already seen the review for the Formula, which I loved, or Squeak and Sausage, which I thought was not so good, definitely check those out and you can see why. But anyways, that's it for now. Thanks for watching The Rad Chad Show.
Thank you for watching The Rad Chad Show. Till next time.